Hey guys, this is Kirk Cousins. You're listening to the Wild Takes podcast. God bless.
Going Kaprizov in for a chance to win it. He scores! Kirill the Thrill is for real. Sends Bronziak ahead. 2-on-1 with Niederreiter. He scores! Nino Niederreiter wins it for the Wild. Cut off by Mata. Throws it up front. Dumba scores! Comes Brian Ralston for the Wild. Penalty shot to tie the game. He blasts it home. Oh my, what a shot. Fiala, Kaprizov scores! The Thrill breaks the seal and Minnesota wins in overtime.
You're listening to the Wild Takes podcast, presented by 10,000 Takes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wild Takes. I am your host today. For once, they actually allowed me in front of the camera and in front of a microphone as opposed to kind of hiding behind the scenes here. I'm Marlo. Today, we are going to be interviewing Barstool Chief with the help of Mr. Bossman, Mr. Journalist Jake. Chief, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, boys. I love the setup. We were talking a little bit beforehand. You guys seem like my kind of people, so thanks for having me on. And you guys, I can't thank you enough for how much you'd like help promote the shirt and raise awareness, because we put it out and it was like trickling with traction. And I'm like, I don't know how to get into Minnesota Twitter. Like, you know, Barstool's not super big there. You guys really helped with that. And it's been great. So far, I think the number is a little bit north of $20,000 that we raised for Children's Minnesota. Perfect. And you guys were a big part of that push. So can't thank you guys enough. And I know you guys had your own shirt that was sort of similar, and you're donating those proceeds as well, correct?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we're not as good as you guys. We did partial proceeds because, but no, that's awesome.
We're selfish. Donations to a children's hospital, except for one person. So good on you guys for doing that as well. So, great cause centered around Ryan Hartman giving the middle finger. So
it's insane, how one guy gives the middle finger, and like between you guys, between us and him, like, raise almost $50,000 for a charity. Like, how does that happen?
I was saying the kind of the same thing. Like, an action that comes off as very immature, and like you don't tell your kids to flip off somebody and say fuck you. Like, it turned into something good. So good things can come out of quote unquote bad things. But I thought it was fucking hilarious. Fuck Evander Kane.
You gave it to the right guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
perfect.
No allies.
If there's anybody to tell to go fuck themselves, it is definitely Evander Kane. As well, too, your tire pumping earlier, we're holding you to that. We're counting that as a contract to come onto Barstool. So we'll sign the paperwork and send it right on over to you.
I'll forward this clip to Dave Portnoy and see what he says.
There we go.
Oh, geez.
Beautiful.
For review.
Like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah, is that
the fuck?
Is that Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, right.
You'll love them. You'll love them. They're in a basement. They're in a farmer's insurance office like us.
Yeah. Well, really quick, some backstory for people listening. So what I was telling Chief before we started is that famous clip of Dave coming into your guys' office just starstruck that you guys were, you guys, Barstool is a multi-billion-dollar company at this point, and you guys are basically in like a closet was it in a farmer's insurance? Like, it was basically,
So the real story is that, I mean, it was the most hodgepodge collection of, shared space. Farmer's Insurance had actually moved out like the year before we got there, and they just didn't take the sticker down. So they were like, that's too much work. But there was a TV repair guy, there was an immigration lawyer, there was a tax lady, accountant, there was, and then they ran, the landlord ran like a property management company. So there was like 5, and then us.
Yeah.
So, it was really something else when we would have guests come through for interviews. We were like, like Stan Bowman, like, came into that office. So, and the owner of the Blackhawks came into that office. It's just like, this is where we were.
I just remember that clip because he comes in with like a pizza and he has a shocked look on his face. I was surprised that was his first time at the office, actually. Like, I thought he had maybe been there, and like but the pure shock that he had on his face was
priceless.
Hilarious, like classic Portnoy.
You can't even plan moments like that.
No,
they just happen.
Especially with the voice being gone and everything as well. What are you
doing? But I think that's just that's on brand. That was like, because we were saying like we were in like a small studio in Prior Lake that's part of like your brand. Like, it's part of that brand. So
it's crazy you mentioned all the different types of businesses. So yeah, we were downtown Prior Lake here, which is a suburb outside of the cities. And in our building, it was 2 boutiques. We had massage therapy. We had someone who sold like Asian tea. Next to us was Farmers Insurance, or across the hallway, oddly enough. And then next to us, when we were drilling our TV in that studio, I think we knocked down like $150 worth of product and like some herbal, herbal like therapy place next to us, and
acupuncture.
And then you just have us. Like we had Jason Zucker in that studio. Like we had all sorts of media people in there as well. So it's hilarious how similar we are. And just
that office sounds like zen as fuck. Herbal teas, massage, acupuncture. I don't know why you guys would never leave.
I know.
There was a brewery right across the street that made up for some very unproductive nights.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's just go get a couple beers, and then
So from a professional standpoint, we moved to a basement and a house.
Right.
So just
and our neighbors think we're drug dealers because people come in and out constantly.
Chief, I got a quick question for you. I am, just from a personal standpoint, I am probably one of the biggest fans of the Dozen trivia. And so what I need to bring up to you, this is very important. At what point are you guys going to stop listening to White Sox Dave? Like the amount of last minute answers that he gives you that just puts you guys in a mental pretzel just blows my mind.
Yeah. So White Sox Dave has become one of my best friends. So I don't want to like talk too much shit about him. But Jeff DeLoe, who is like the host and the creator of the show, when all like, because Dave's been accused of cheating, he sent me, because he got a question right where he accused of cheating in one of these prior shows at the buzzer.
Yep.
And he swears he didn't cheat. He always kind of tells me the truth, so I believe him. But Jeff did let me know that Dave had gone like 5 months without getting a question right on his own.
Ooh,
so that's tough look for my guy, White Sox Dave. And, I'm not the biggest baseball guy. So when we had the live show and he's screaming Yankees in my face, and it's like, well, I guess I think it's the A's, and it was the A's. But he was so convinced it was the Yankees, and and we never recovered. That was the first question of the night for us, and we never recovered.
Well, and you got to trust the guy who's wearing the full kit, the full Sox kit as well, too, with the Cusack #1 on the back. I thought one of the toughest things about that show was the amount of hot dogs he had to put down. And we recently had to do what was, I'm sure you know of the 993 challenge, or 999.
Well, the 999 is a popular one. We brought it to hockey.
Correct. We brought it to hockey and did a 993. So 9 beers, 9 dogs, 3 periods. We batted 2 for 3.
Yeah.
That's almost more impressive, I feel like.
Damn straight. I mean, the fact that we don't have a banner hanging in a rafter somewhere, I think is appalling. I think if we would have,
that would be my biggest gripe with the Minnesota Wild. They retired #1 for the fans. And that's you guys got to start a petition to get that taken.
Yeah, that is.
It's strange.
And they changed our goal song this year. So we used to have crowd chant, which was like electric, right? Like, the fans would sing.
Yes.
And they changed it to shout. Get up, you make me want to shout. It's like, oh man.
I still haven't got. People are like, it's going to grow on you. You're going to get used to it. You kind of like, you're in the moment. It's a great goal. You'll sing to it. But I'm like, this is not crowd chant. Like, it's been crowd chant since 2000, since they became a team.
Yeah.
And it does not fit at all.
I mean, I'm a big wedding dance guy. I love shout. I feel like it would be electric as a goal song, but if you guys are saying it doesn't work,
I think there's a good time and place for shout. Like a wedding is a great time for it, like gatherings and stuff. When a team like gets a game-winning goal in the third period, it just doesn't hit the same.
I was gonna say, I think at this point I would take Natasha Bedingfield, and I'm sure you would agree with me on that one. That'd be an electric goal song.
That's a jam. Feel the rain on your skin. But I'm ready to get rid of Chelsea Dagger in Chicago. Like
really,
like it just stopped trying to make me remember when times were good. It was too long ago.
I get that. It's like it's almost like when like you have a bad breakup and you want to get rid of all your girlfriend's stuff to just forget the memories. You almost got to start over, right?
And the Chicago is just hanging on, and the Blackhawks just hanging on to that one sweater that fits just right and still smells like her.
That's it. That's all we got. 2 sweaters. We got 19 and 88, and then the goal song, which doesn't get played nearly enough because the team is garbage. So I hear that song, I think about like Dustin, the Minnesota Wild, and it like brings back all this joy. But when it's the second goal of a 6-2 loss, it doesn't feel the same.
Chief,
I was gonna say,
have you seen the famous clip of the Wild scoring and the sad Blackhawks fans slouched like this?
I don't know.
We might have to tweet that one at you after the interview, but it would probably define your sadness in a video.
Especially because I'm pretty sure it was like a 6-2 win.
Yeah,
for us as
in
well,
St.
too.
Paul, and he was like surrounded by Wild fans.
And Bally Sports North, our TV broadcaster, had it on him for like 5 seconds.
he
It
was
a
just
long
sitting
time.
there, like just.
Poor guy.
It almost
Might
looked
have been me.
staged.
It could have been who. It might have been me. I've never been there, but I'm not sure that it wasn't me.
Yeah. It represents, I think, probably all. Like, I think people were saying this represents all of us Chicago fans. Like, people were tweeting at. Like, Chicago fans were replying to it, and like, this represents all of us right now.
Yeah.
But but we're like, we've been there. We have been there as Minnesota fans. That disappointment, time and time again.
I that was like you guys were like the cute little team, like here comes Minnesota. We'll just make quick work of them on the little speed bump team on the way to the Stanley Cup. And now it's like you guys are a wagon, and the Hawks are an unmitigated disaster. And it's like I was always hoping for a rivalry that would rival what they had in the 80s with the North Stars and Blackhawks. My dad talks about it, like how great that was. And it's like we couldn't ever get the timing right. When Detroit left, I was like looking around for teams to hate. And you guys were in the running with St. Louis, and it just never manifested because the Blackhawks fell off a cliff.
And that's one thing I got to say as well too. I get a lot of heat for some of my takes here as well too. For a lot of the shit that I put out. Don't get me wrong, I embrace the controversy, but one of the ones that I've always had was I don't think Minnesota and Chicago, like when it comes to Wild and Blackhawks, I don't see it as a true rivalry because you guys at the point were always very good when we were dog shit. And then now it's kind of flipped. I feel like, I don't know how you feel about that, but can you even call that a true rivalry? If like the competitive level isn't necessarily there, you guys would just dog us every single time. There was moments where we would talk about, hey, we don't want to fucking play in playoffs. That sucks.
I know.
And it would always end up happening.
I think it was like 4 years in a row or 3 years in a row or 3 out of 4 years we played the Blackhawks, and we knew we'd get our ass kicked. And we just got, and it was always on a year we're like, oh no, the Wild could do something this year. Are you fucking kidding me? No, we're going to get our asses kicked of Chicago when we played them in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Yikes.
Appreciate it.
we can play the Kings and just be nice and be quiet, and let's try not to have any guys hurt unnecessarily as we're smoking the Wild. But yeah, like, I wish that the Hawks could have hung on and that this could have been like the new Norris division like battle. And it's just not the case. We're going to be bad for a while, but maybe we'll get you guys in 3-4 years when you're still on top because you got all these nice young players, Boldy, Kirill, all the, Rossi's coming. Like I think the Wild are going to be good for some time now.
Granted, we get around the
and
contract.
we personally want to thank you for Marc-Andre Fleury because that was insane when that happened.
I mean, I love Flower. I love that guy. So be good to him. Please let him get 4 playoff wins on the way to the conference final. That first round pick, and everybody's on the same page.
And
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say it's crazy we got him because Flower was literally what stopped the Wild from advancing to the second round last year. Like he is it blows my mind that Vegas blew up that team for Eichel. Like Flower was literally like the rival in the Superman movie who comes back and fights for the good side the next year. Like that's how we look at it.
Well, and it's perfect. And like they chose poorly. It's like the old Indiana Jones thing. Like you chose poorly, and now your face is melting off because they never should have signed Leonard because we had Leonard too. I couldn't stand Leonard.
It's awful.
All like post game stuff, big mouth. He's all over the place. One night he's unbelievable. The other night he lays an egg. If they didn't have Crawford, I don't think that Leonard would have had like such a good year because they like kind of battled and kept each other focused. And then when he was going to be the man in Vegas, the wheels just came off. So
Leonard kind of reminds me of any sort of basketball player where it's all, for the most part, he never really said this, but it was a lot of me shit that would just drive me fucking crazy. I've never seen that in hockey before. It's a constant basketball thing. But speaking of basketball, can we talk about that scumbag, squishy face Grayson Allen real quick?
Ooh.
A woat. The absolute well, and like last night, like that the Bulls, they were having a great year, and then Grayson Allen took out Caruso, broke his wrist, and they never really fully got back on track. And now it's like you're watching the game last night, and they got off to a rough start, and then Grayson Allen just comes down to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 3-pointers in the second quarter, just daggers, and you're like, well, this game's over, and it's Grayson Allen's fault. So it's brutal.
The Timberwolves are in a very similar state right now. I think basically after the Wolves lost the other night, Cat basically said, well, I'm going to give up at this point. So, it's like we can relate on that level as well. NBA sadness.
100%. The only way that we've been able to get victories, and I don't know if you follow along with this, is if there's been an active protest at each game.
Yep.
And we recently discovered security's been stepping up, so that may contribute to our losses.
You gotta bring Glue Lady back.
Yes,
Glue-
yeah,
Glue Girl.
Glue Girl, and then a chain chick.
Yeah.
So the second protest, she actually chained herself to the hoop, and they're getting better. But I think people have tried to get there, and security is now shutting them down because they all wear the same shirt. You need to blend in like a fan if you want to get down to the court.
I would say we might have to do our part and just protest anyways, just to
Right.
get something going here.
We
Protest. What are you guys protesting? Losses.
yeah.
Well, it's funny because they're
Our team's
protesting
sucking.
Glenn Taylor, our owner, and everyone already hates him. It's like protest someone who is more controversial than just hated.
I know. Like Glenn Taylor is, he's people hate, like you said, people don't like him here. People wanted him out as the owner of the Timberwolves for fucking years. You're going out there and gluing your hand to the floor. Do something a little more interesting, or like just I don't know, like protest fucking I don't know, just protest their team sucking. I don't know.
Or use an industrial strength glue like that.
Yeah, not Elmer's glue.
Yeah, Elmer's. Yeah,
I guess she claims she used super glue, but
It's way funnier to just believe that she used Elmer's, whether she did or not.
But I don't think she did.
Well, and who the hell has ever been successful at gluing anything themselves to anything before? In their
even with
entire
super
life?
glue.
Yeah.
Literally fucking nobody.
But
it would have been better if she just took like a 5-gallon paint drum and just like
At least ruin the
at least
Yeah.
game to clean it up.
Yeah, fucking Christ. Kind of bouncing around teams here real quick. I wanted to ask you, Nottingham Forest, Mr. Mario himself on with us here. You've learned a lot of like slang, but here's what I want to ask you. We kind of want to get into soccer, and this is a second, or I guess a second tier team, second league team, or whatever. Millwall is one that I've always been interested in. I don't know if you've ever seen that story about the guy on the bridge who took down the Stabbers in like the UK. And before he went running in, he said, "Fuck you, I'm Millwall," before taking him down. Probably one of the most badass moments anybody could ever have.
Electric.
I want to know, 30-second pitch, tell me why I should cheer for Forest as opposed to Millwall.
I mean, you got to find it in your heart. So like I've always loved soccer and I've always wanted a team, but I never cared about anybody except for United States, in the World Cup or whatever, United States men's national team, and then with the women's whenever they pop up too, I guess. But I always wanted a team. I tried Newcastle, I tried Leeds, I tried I tried a lot Everton because they had Landon Donovan. Just nothing felt right. And then my brother was finishing he's 10 years younger than me, was finishing a grad school program in Nottingham and got a job last year for Nottingham Forest. So I just started kind of cheering for him and watching him just basically support my brother. And then the more I learned about the team and their history, they got a great logo. They got a stadium that's probably like the Wrigley Field equivalent of English football. It's been around. They've been around since 1865. Awesome logo, everything. Like I've just fallen in love, and they've had a magical year. They brought in this new coach, manager, Steve Cooper, and he looks like a Family Guy cartoon of an English person, I hate to say it, a disgusting English.
The teeth? Is it the teeth?
Yeah, the teeth, the hair, and it's like frumpy. He's perfect. And so they're just so lovable. They're up 1-0 right now. I hope you guys appreciate me coming on the podcast because I've got some wagers on this. they're up 1-0. I need a second goal, but they're up 1-0. And yeah, it's just been great. And now they're knocking on the door of promotion. And if I really, if they go up, like I'm the most hated guy in Derby County because I do like these. I don't know. I was just goofing around on the internet. Like the coach does these fist pumps. I'm like, I'll do that with them. Like, just who cares, right? No one, like, I've been tweeting into a vacuum about Forest. I get like 6 people even know who they are, but it got into their like stream of on the their internet, and they're just like this. They're calling me like a child molester, which is what they use the word nonce. Nonce means I've never heard that word. I'm like, what's a nonce? And everyone's like, that's a child molester. I'm like, that's not great. And all sorts of other insults, but I love it, and I love hating people, kind of like how I wanted to hate you guys up in Minnesota. I actually hate them because their fans are so obnoxious for like 2 or 3 weeks on the internet that it feels great to hate somebody. and I do hate them, and I love Forrest, and like this is. The line I've been saying when I talk to these people on, from England is like, I wasn't born into it, but I will die with Forrest. Like I'll be Forrest until I die. And it's been great. I love it.
Do you want to take a second to quick clear your name? Can you confirm whether or not you are a virgin or not? That was probably one of my favorite insults.
Not a virgin. Sex multiple times.
Multiple sex.
Multiple sexes.
More than once. Not to brag, more than once.
The sexy time.
All the sexes.
All the sexes.
I thought that was one of the funniest insults that someone could throw at somebody. Just virgin, like you're 14 years old again, fucking in the locker room.
Look at my face. I get it. It's plausible. So
no, your face looks fine. There are people within our company that were like, yeah,
I think our actual virgin.
I think you're an actual virgin,
right?
Like just by
all jokes aside.
10K.
We got I think 35 total
Roughly
between 12 bloggers. We got 5 podcasts, a radio show. Yeah, it's kind of
video personalities. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize you guys were that big of a group. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a blast for sure.
It's kind of a lot sometimes dealing with certain individuals, but we make it through. We make it work. I mean, that's part of the experience. You deal with some weirdos too, but we're weird too, so it's on brand.
That being weird works for the internet. I wish I was more weird. At our company, being a weirdo that Prez can just point and laugh at really does wonders for your career.
And I would say, I think the best part about us being weirdos is sometimes people don't listen to us necessarily. I dropped like a weird Ukraine joke at a live event that we had for a Minnesota Wild
at a bar in St.
To be fair, it was very clean. It wasn't
brutal.
It wasn't controversial, but luckily nobody batted an eye. We were able to move forward. That's just how lucky we are that people are like, these guys are fucking weirdos.
That's a great space if you can make hilarious wartime jokes.
Right. Well, like I'll make one right now. Like Russia really blew that lead.
Yeah. there was. Yeah.
There you go.
There's one right there. I was gonna say too, going back to your office. I know you're not in that old office anymore. Your guys' new office looks sick as shit. Like I feel like from what you went to where you are at now is insane. You didn't even hit another spot in the middle.
Matt, this is actually the middle spot. So we're probably going to upgrade around this time next year. It's been great. They did a great job building it out. We got a nice studio, plenty of space, streaming area. We're going to definitely do some live streams and stuff for the NHL playoffs there. It's been we're not all on top of each other we have those studio lights, which are very bright. So if they're 6 inches from you because there's no other place to put it because the room is 10 by 12 or whatever it was, it gets a little sweaty, a little stinky with 4 big grown adult men. So the new space has been great.
Has Portnoy visited it yet? Has he been there?
We've had a lot of he was here because we opened the bar. He was here for that. He was here for March Madness. We had a bunch of guys in from the Masters. So he's been to the new office maybe 3 or 4 times, and
he approves.
A lot, I think that's more than he's been to the New York office.
True.
Big Miami Dave, St. Bart's Dave.
You can't get a tan in New York, so I get it. I was just saying too. I remember I was watching the Chicago Stool Scenes, which is probably one of my favorite series as well too. I'm glad you guys brought that into the mix. But I think the intro is Dave's walking in, is like, "Where's White Sox Dave?" And it's like, "Oh, he's late. I'm here day one, and he's late." I'm not trying to continue to sewer White Sox Dave. I want to make it very clear that I call everybody a scumbag solely because of White Sox Dave.
Well, and also we have a rivalry with the White Sox. Like if there's a team in the MLB that we hate and their fans, it is the White Sox from a Minnesota perspective.
He's kind of in the same boat as me with lamenting that they don't really have Cubs and have the Cardinals, right?
Right.
White Sox don't really have that. It's kind of like who's ever good at the same time, but you don't have this generational hate like Bears have the Packers or the Cubs have the Cards. Like he would love to hate you guys. So,
right. So
we love to be hated.
Well, I was gonna say if our teams can't have a rivalry because they're never on the same page, maybe our fans can. We're gonna challenge you. So we currently have the world record for the largest beer cup snake, and as someone from Chicago, I know Chicago is really where they originated from. So we're challenging the Barstool Chicago crew to build a larger beer cup snake than us, so that we can go back and forth in a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson style rivalry for years to come.
You're gonna have to give me the parameters of what that record is. Did you guys do it at Target?
So that one was at the XL Energy Center. Yeah.
At a Wild game, actually. Yes.
That's more impressive somehow, I feel like.
Yeah, we didn't do it like that scumbag company or whatever it was.
No, yeah. So the Colorado Mammoth lacrosse team, they just bought a bunch of cups and just put them together, and like they didn't put anything in them. It's like
They didn't drink
just
anything.
cheating.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Disavowed.
It shouldn't be. It should be out. They should be like sanctioned or some shit for that, because like we actually put in hard work. We had a lot of mouths drinking beer.
We spent a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of people's health went down the hill for making this damn cup snake work, and they go and cheat.
So the parameters are pretty simple. Just an authentic cup snake.
Yep.
So like how what's the record? I guess is my question.
So we're gonna throw the Mammoth out of there. Ours was 214.
I thought it was like 270.
Yeah, I think it was like two.
It's on
270
Wikipedia.
something.
Well,
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
We have an event at the White Sox game later this summer.
Saw that. Yeah.
Where we're gonna have I call it International White Sox Dave Day, where we have like a big tailgate in the parking lot, and then we go sit in the bleachers for 4 hours. There's like a little pregame thing underneath the stadium too. I feel like that would be the day.
Yeah.
That would be the day for us to really give it a strong effort to see if we'll do it. The only problem is that security has we got in big trouble with the Cubs, or they tried to get us in trouble for promoting it. Basically, they're like, you guys are inciting danger. It's already happening. We're just
right. Yeah.
yeah. It happened independent of us, but yeah, if the White Sox kind of let us do whatever we want, I feel like for the most part, so they might get on board. That would be the time to do it. International White Sox Dave Day.
International White Sox Dave Cup Snake Day. I like it.
Did you guys send a personal invite to that scumbag Cusack?
Good luck. We've been trying to get in touch with it because we've had Chelios knows him pretty well. I asked Chelios hey, can we can you play mediator? He's like, nope, he won't do it. And then we asked, we had somebody on for an interview. Oh, the guy from The Office, who played
Right.
Daryl.
Oh,
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
Craig Robinson, thank you. So he was in Hot Tub Time Machine with Cusack, and we asked him the same thing. He's like, nope.
John Cusack.
He's like, I can't help you there.
What is this guy? This untouchable? He won't go on any
No,
appearances.
he has a personal beef with White Sox Dave.
Oh, he does.
And Cusack is
he genuinely he went on a Twitter rampage for a week.
called him a sweaty little
John
animal or
Cusack
something
did?
like that with
Oh
bad
yeah,
breath.
John Cusack did. Yeah, it was very they talked about it on late night TV. It was like a major kind of viral story. And the funniest part is, someone our social media guy was like, hey, they're just tailgating in the parking lot. Hey, Dave, there's Cusack. No hesitation. Right.
It was so funny.
It wasn't are you sure? Is that him? Should I go up to him? It was like, what? Cusack? Go. Absolutely beeline right to his chin. And Cusack, his chin was at White Sox Dave's forehead. That's kind of the height differential there. But it was an all time White Sox Dave moment. He is, he's our own little special barnyard animal. There's just no controlling him. So
a little bit of background to about 10K. We have somebody who I guess is probably similar to the Cusack thing. Is we can't fucking stand Celine Dion. We have a massive beef with her.
She got her Twitter page shut down because for a little bit, her lawyers did, because we do the Titanic thing every time one of our teams wins in overtime, and we used her song enough, and her lawyers basically reached out to Twitter and got our account suspended for 5 months. We had to start a whole new Twitter.
Fucking sucked.
TMA.
Yep.
It was
That's brutal. So I've definitely gotten warnings on that, and I used to do. I had a similar thing because I had Panarin and Kane here when they traded him. I had this video set to a Celine Dion song. So anytime they would play or anytime it would come up in conversation, I just post the video. The video was awesome. Somehow it was all synced up to the lyrics, or because there was a moment where Kane fake tried to kiss Panarin, and it was Panarin was like, what? But same thing. I got a letter from her lawyer, so I just went back and deleted all. Haven't been able to post it since. But yeah, she's known as one of the sticklers about people using her.
Right. Well,
music.
You look
Fuck
at her
you.
and you're you look like a person who's upset at everybody. She looks just mad all the time, resting bitch face.
She's got some Karen.
Yeah, she's definitely big time Karen.
I was saying, what are we preventing you from getting? Your 10th house?
It's not we're monetizing this video and getting $1 for every view. What, you want royalties for a fucking Twitter clip?
There's always a new wave of young people, particularly younger teenage girls, getting into Leonardo DiCaprio and Titanic every fucking year. She's getting enough money from
She's
people
still
watching
making money
that.
from that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, big time. Streams, the whole thing. So yeah, I think let people have a little fun on the internet. Let's get Elon in there. Let music.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the
But
reason,
also, guys, I mean, you're a real company. Get a burner. That's the
Yeah.
solution.
Well, yeah, that's what we do
we
now.
do.
We have the 10K camera roll
Yeah.
that uploads all copyrighted content. You just do the old press and hold bit on
Yep.
Twitter, and you're good. You avoid everything.
And if that gets shut down, you just keep creating another one.
yeah,
and then another one.
It's like the easiest, dumbest loophole of all time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Twitter will be hardos with that, but they haven't found their way around that one yet.
yeah, so
hilarious.
basically we brought this up because we want to see if we can get an honorary mention on the banned list. If we can throw Celine Dion on there at some point.
Well, I'm on there. So,
Yeah, you are on the list.
I'm on there twice. So
Unbelievable.
I'm probably not the guy for that.
And so real quick, I want to bring up as well too. Of course, this interview wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for your Heartsy shirt, which we unbelievable design. I remember I specifically texted the chat when we first saw that shirt. I was like, "Fuck, I love that design so much more than mine." I was like, "This is a sick thing as well too." I also want to say thank you as well too, because as of right now, I am. This brings up my shooting percentage. I'm 2 for 3 on Hartman content. I actually was recently banned because I put together a Heartsy clip that got me kicked off Twitter, where I edited Heartsy's face on a B movie clip. And it said something along the lines of, you're just gonna. It had Heartsy's face on it. It's like you're gonna let him fuck us all to death, and that got me kicked off Twitter, and I haven't been back since. I'm still banned from it. So I just want to say personally,
that feels like it should be allowed.
I thought so too. So now I'm batting 2 for 3. So I want to thank you for this opportunity.
I think Jerry Seinfeld's behind that shit.
I think he is.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
what I'm
Jerry
saying.
Yes, I heard he's an asshole. So
He
I mean,
is.
and he was the star
And
of the movie.
he was at Coach K's last game.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Gross.
come on, Jerry.
And everyone's like, oh, he must have went. I think does his kid go to Duke? Is that what we found out? Is
Who gives a shit?
But I don't care. He's still just two horrible people under the same roof.
Yeah, fuck him. So as of right now, we just hit. I mean, the updated numbers. We're at 20. I saw 20,000 already so far sold. What's our end goal here? What are we aiming for?
I don't know. I'm gonna, see. We're gonna keep it up for sale. I think we're gonna do a shipment here, so the people who have bought them already will hopefully get them during that first round. And if they win, and there's momentum, we're just gonna keep going. So I want to raise as much as possible. So, we have a really good merch team now, and they, so it was my idea, but I don't know how to do anything artistic. So I just text our design girls and can you guys make this into a shirt, please? They came up with that design. I texted it to them, and they do a great job. And I've always loved that. My best friend from college is from Roseville, Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
nice.
right down the road.
Played them a lot in high school.
Fuck them.
Roseville Raiders. Yeah. So home of Marty Surdich. And
Shout out Marty.
yeah. So we used to go up for the state fair almost every summer, and then would do a boundary water strip after that. So his dad worked for a University of Minnesota in the veterinary department, so he would doing the Miracle of Life exhibit and would birth pigs, and everyone would be like, "This is disgusting."
Exactly. I don't know.
Exactly.
One of the weirdest things we have there.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Bob Morrison. And he would just pull a piglet out of a sow or whatever you call it, and then just reach over and crack a Diet Coke and drink it. It was disgusting. But he was a beauty. And so yeah, I've loved Minnesota. I love that Minnesota nice tag. I felt like that played. And they're just, now that with Hulu, every game's on TV, I'm watching hockey every night. All year long, I've just been kind of sucked into the Wild. I like the way they play. Obviously, I know Heartsy a little bit, and so I like rooting for him. And I wish you guys were somewhere else, because I don't want to have any good feelings towards the team in the division, but I like watching the Wild. So. And this seemed like a no-brainer because I think Heartsy raised $30,000,
$30K,
for Venmo donation. So I'd like to hopefully get to at least that. So we both make kind of matching $30,000 donations, and we're 2/3 of the way there. So I think if the Wild win a playoff series against St. Louis, then I think we'll get to that number.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for people listening, you can just buy it on the Barstool Sports store.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And
yeah,
we've tweeted the link. Chiefs tweeted the link. That's where you can buy them.
Correct. We'll be
and I really appreciate you guys getting me into the Minnesota Twitter sphere, because I didn't know where to find you guys. So
Yeah.
So you guys were definitely a big help of pushing that. So thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Special shout out to the fans who were tagging us in your tweet as well too when you were reaching out as well too. Just want to throw that out there. Those guys are beauties as well too. So.
And fuck all those people that were just like ripping on this whole situation, like, oh, fuck Barstool or fuck this shirt, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like it was one person.
It was.
I haven't been mad online in a long time. Like, genuinely, I was fucking mad online. I was like, people were like texting me like, "You're going at this." I'm like, I don't care. I am actually mad. Like, don't try to subvert and lie to subvert a charitable donation for a children's hospital.
Right.
What kind of monster are you?
Well, yeah, that's what actually will get you mad is like you try to do a good thing and like when haters come out when you have like a tweet or whatever, it is what it is. But when you try to be a good person and they come out, it's like, okay, back the fuck off. Like, this is just us and you.
Reasons not to like me. This is not one of them.
Yeah,
find something else.
Right. Yeah. Well, really quick, going back to the state fair, you said you guys went every year or you tried to get up here. What would you say is
3 times?
Yeah. Okay. So what would you say is the best thing to eat there? What was your favorite? Because that's a pretty hot topic here.
I'm 36, so I haven't been since 2009, 8 or 9. I think it was 2008 actually, because I remember we were there. It was during the Beijing Olympics because we would watch we'd get up in the middle of the night to watch the United States play over in China.
Yep.
So basketball. Man, I remember having a turkey leg. I remember eating like the world's hottest jerky. But I don't, they had deep fried fucking Twinkies and Snickers. And everything.
And those
dangerous,
slap, by the way.
Dangerous.
Yeah. I can't say that anything. They're memorable. Okay, all these different things that I tried. I can't say anything like stuck out as being like that was great. It was more of like an experience. Like I'm just gonna eat this deep fried Oreo. And,
like it's your job. There's a point you don't even want it, and you just keep wolfing food down.
Exactly.
Like, back to the coal mine. I go.
I love that it's such a thing in Minnesota, or at least it felt like that. Where I don't even know if Illinois has a state fair.
Well, it's a big thing here, and one of the biggest attractions is the all-you-can-drink milk.
Right,
like $1 all-you-can-drink milk.
It's the most bizarre stand that gets people just.
Yeah, it's literally the most Kirk Cousins thing that we have in the state of Minnesota is endless milk.
We did a bit there.
Our other guy, Eddie, who's like, I love Eddie. He's my favorite. Before he was with Barstool, he's such a weird brain guy, but he would run a milk drinking competition, with just like his buddies. And there's got to be, whether it's this cup snake thing or something, I want to pitch a road trip to the boys.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll go up, we'll donate, we'll drop off the check to the children's hospital, we'll take in a Twins game, Wild game, something. I'm going to go up to Minnesota kind of for spite. I might start blogging Minnesota Wild stuff. I hate that guy so much. But I want to come up there, and then if we could time it with the fair and get Eddie into like the milk drinking thing again, that would be great.
You shoot us a phone call.
A lot of synergies with Minnesota and Barstool, Chicago.
You shoot us a phone call, we will gladly drink milk for the bit. We'll be there. We won't have to blink. We'll be there for you.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
I'll be in the Kirk jersey doing the milk bit.
Yep,
because it's the most Kirk thing ever.
Even though Kirk says he doesn't
drink milk.
Other than your face.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I don't know, you probably haven't seen that much, but he does like an impression on Kirk, and he went to the all-you-can-drink milk stand, and he was like pretending he was drunk and like throwing up and shit.
Hey, Julie, you got to pick me up.
Too much milk.
So real quick here, you said that. So now that you're going to become like a Minnesota guy, but you're clarifying that you're not going to be a Minnesota Wild fan. Is that correct?
I mean, I want them to go to the conference final, so I will be tweeting, rooting, watching all that because I am completely self-interested. I want that first-round pick because the Hawks currently don't have one. So I would love to get into the first round, courtesy of Marc-Andre Fleury and the Wild. So I will be genuinely rooting for them then. But my brother, who introduced me to Nottingham Forest, has since taken a job with the Florida Panthers.
Oh, okay.
So that is my actual team I will be rooting for the most in the playoffs. But I got a little place in my heart this year for the Wild.
We can make you a temporary fan. We can make that happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you're temporary. You get up for a playoff game. If you do, you'll be a fan for just the playoffs.
Right.
Well, they did. Someone in their marketing department or something reached out to me during the whole shirt thing, and I kind of want to just go up for spite. Like I wasn't planning on making a trip, but now like I just want to be like, oh yeah, you hate Barstool, SB Nation guy. the Wild don't hate me. I'm at the game courtesy of them, so fuck off.
Oh, it'd drive people nuts if you were there. Like the people that hate. No, I mean, like we would love having you there. A lot of people would, but those haters, especially SB Nation, fuck him.
Yeah, right.
Like they'd be like, oh, why is he at the game? He's not even a fan. Ugh. It's like, well,
And follow-up question, I guess, to that real quick here as well, too, is unselfishly. So obviously there's a lot at stake for the Chicago Blackhawks if we end up making the Western Conference Final, or even Fleury like balls out during playoffs here. But unselfishly, where do you honestly see the Minnesota Wild finishing out in playoffs?
I like the way St. Louis is built too. They got great D. They're tough. They're physical. They've been through the battles before. They got Ryan O'Reilly, so I think they're maybe a little bit better down the middle. No offense to my guy Hartman, but Ryan O'Reilly he's a stud. I think that's going 7. I think that'll be the best series of the first round. Like most competitive, we'll get overtimes, we'll get fights, it'll be like must-see TV. I'm so jealous of you guys because that's what the playoffs is all about. That's what you get up for. You kind of like I remember thinking of like the regular season as preamble. Like, all right, like this is a box you have to check until we get to see the LA Kings or Vancouver in the playoffs. Like that's what you wait all season for. Now you guys have it in the first round with St. Louis. You get by them, I think that they can play with anybody. I love the Wild's D. I believe in their goaltending, especially now they have Fleury in case something, Talbot, who knows? I know he's had a great year, but I'll never fully trust that guy. They got a game breaker in Kirill. Hartman is a playoff kind of guy. They got a lot of playoff kind of guys up front. So, and you need game breakers in the, and I always thought that was something that really separated the Hawks from the Wild. Like Breeze, great player in his prime, but we had Sharp, Osa, Kane, Taves. Like they would just have these guys where it's like if they have a chance, they're going to bury it. Kirill's a guy like that.
Yeah.
And they play the game the right way. Zuccarello is a 200-foot player. Like I'm in on the Wild. I think that it's not out of the realm that they could go to the finals. Like I really think they're that good, and I think that they're tough enough where they could push Colorado around theoretically. Colorado's obviously way more talented, but they haven't exactly been a force in the playoffs since with this current group. No. So it's not. And I don't trust their goaltending either. A guy that you guys should know very well,
Mr. Darcy.
Yeah.
Darcy. And they had Dubnik too.
So I would say that the Wild have the edge in that series, and then I think they got they're a little nastier, a little tougher, heavier team than Colorado.
Well, it was hilarious how, like, right at the deadline, Billy G's doing everything right. He brings in Middleton and Delorier, who are just two guys who look like they came out of, like, caves. Like, I don't know where he found them, but they're just two tough guys. Like, Middleton, full stash, missing all of his front teeth. Then you have Delorier, who just fights people. That's his job.
He is a hockey guy.
He's a hockey guy.
Every night you can get a picture of him just beat up, bruised.
Just bloody.
This guy's a hockey guy.
I could do endless manly things, and I would never reach their level of actually being a man. It's insane. But so I figure we don't want to take up too much more of your time. We honestly really do appreciate you coming on and out. Where can everybody find the shirt?
Fellas, I got time. So whatever you guys want to do.
This is the first ever Chief 2-hour interview here. I love it. I was really hoping though. I wanted to say real quick. I was really actually hoping that you'd be negative on the Wild because I know as soon as we lose, this is gonna hurt more than anything ever has in my entire life.
Yeah.
We're always so used to kind of sucking and just being kind of terrible that this team can actually make a dent, and it's gonna kill me if they end up losing.
I'm petrified. I'm petrified for the playoffs because they have continuously gone in, and this is this is the best team they've had in franchise history. This isn't the Parisi, Granlund, Charlie Coyle teams that were okay in the regular season, but would just lay an egg. Marian Gaborik. Oh, I mean, I loved Gaborik, but like that's all they had back then.
The stats speak for themselves. Like they put up a graphic yesterday, the top 5 Wild franchise point scorers, and three of the 5 are current players. Yeah, which is insane.
Kaprizov obviously beat it. Then it's Marian Gaborik, which had a strangely young picture of him.
Yeah,
like way too young.
Yeah, high school photo.
It's like a high school photo of Gaborik on the graphic. Then Kevin Fiala, and then it's like Brian Rolston.
Yeah, another random.
I mean, and then, but it's strange. Yeah, the guy who just would do a slap shot on penalty shots. It was great. That was actually good hockey.
I love that move too. Hossa used to bust that out every once in a while, just skate right into the top of the slot and just hammer it far down. Like, that's unstoppable.
That's a hockey guy.
That's another manly
stop
ass
it.
thing for you to do in
Yeah.
any situation.
Yeah.
Like that's just a man.
As a guy from Chicago, I got to going back to talk about Crawford quick. What did you think of the Crawford chant that road fans would do all the time, like the Crawford? What was that annoying to Chicago fans?
I thought it made everybody who was doing that look so stupid. Like, honestly, Crawford's reputation got maligned basically because of one game in the Stanley Cup Final in 2013 where he gave up 5, but they won the game. And from then on, he could not shake like they're trying to get chant his name. He's just going to continue to stand on his head. He was like one of the most underrated goalies going. I mean, his best years actually came when they were on their way down, like 17 when they finished. They got swept by the Preds, but they won the West. Crawford and Scott Darling they were both, and the Hawks were not good defensively that year. They both had like Vezina type years, and I think they might have won the Jennings. Like they were awesome, and it was just his best years, and he probably could have won. Conn Smythe in 15, like he was in 13 too. Other than that one game, he was awesome. So I don't know. I always drove me like not crazy, but just like you guys sound stupid. Like he's not a liability like this. Like if you're paying attention, he's a really really good goalie.
It's that whole they don't ask how, they just ask how many, and it comes to W's when it came to Crawford. I remember specifically defending him all the goddamn time. Like they're fucking winning. Shut up.
Well, I don't think though there'll be a worse goalie chant though than who's the Kraken's goalie?
Grubauer.
So they just do like every time he even just like remote, if it just bounces off his pad and he doesn't move,
Yeah, I mean,
they're learning up there.
It's new to him. It's new to him.
well, even Wild fans when we had Dubnyk, some fans would like
Every
tick 'em,
time.
Dub. It's like, hey, this guy is on his way out now.
He would just
Like,
skate out and collect the puck and then pass to someone during a power play. Dude, it's like stop.
And it was in like year 4 when like we need to move on and people are still yelling it. Like we stop. But I had to bring up.
Had like the skinniest spaghetti arms I've ever seen on an NHL. He had like there were some pictures. I'm like, obviously not when he was in his pads, but he'd be like training. I'm like, how are you in the NHL?
You're an athlete.
Least athletic looking guy I've ever seen.
It's the opposite of the Phil Kessel complex. It's polar opposite. Just the most shocking body in the world.
Well, I was going to say, I just had really quick, I also had to bring up the Crawford chant because I was at I think it was 2015 Game 3 of the second round when we were playing the Blackhawks. We lost 1-0. Patrick Kane scored. I was at the game. Unbelievable game.
Shit.
But it was this Wild fan, I think I've told you guys about this, but he was standing up and just would not shut up. He was yelling Crawford the entire game.
As a Wild fan?
As a Wild fan. Well, yeah, I mean, because we're like, the road fans yell that, but the whole game he was yelling it, and even Wild fans were getting pissed off. He called some guy's girlfriend a bitch and all this stuff, and he got arrested at the top of the section but he was like yelling Crawford, and someone would tell him to shut the fuck up, and he would turn to them, Crawford, like Wild fans. Like he stood up the whole game. This guy was trash.
From the chant to getting arrested is quite the leap.
Yeah, it's like because we would get into it a little bit, like the entire crowd, but it's like the first time they did it during the game, everybody was quiet, and you just hear him the whole game.
God damn it!
Disgusting.
If you're gonna do that chant, you better be up 3-0 at the end of one.
That's the same. It's the same guy who yells shoot on the power play every fucking time.
Oh yeah,
doesn't matter half wall, down low, shoot.
Well, the best bit to do is when it's kind of like a breakaway and you just yell skate at the at the top of your like you screaming. Skate, shoot!
It's the state of hockey, but we got a ton of dumb fucking people in the state. It blows my mind. Chief, can I ask you a question? I like this. I want to ask this question about a little bit of Chief history here, recent history. Were you disappointed that the Ozzie Guillen pose didn't take off as a pose for everybody to do with their people, with just their someone that they like?
It kind of does. Like because now we have like a kind of a photo op place in the bar where they have like I don't know if you guys have that in Minnesota where it's like an Instagram neon spot. Mm-hmm. All the new bars in Chicago seem to have
ours
that.
have those.
Some of the coffee shops.
And like that picture, like I probably get sent a picture like that like maybe once a week. I've just stopped retweeting it. And then I know I've been asked to recreate it with people too. It's like, all right, yeah, sure. We'll do that picture. It's fine.
I think it needs to become like a staple whenever we meet somebody. Like if we ever get another like Wild player on, or for heaven forbid we get, or I mean, hopefully we do get like Billy G. That's the first thing I'm going to do is place my hand on his chest like the best engagement phone you've ever seen in your life. And then we'll
did this guy just touch me?
It's that guy on the lips. He's made the Wild like a legit. I think they're gonna be good for a long time, and it's all because of Billy G.
Yeah, dude, Billy's our savior in this state right now. He's just done everything right.
He's like we say, he's just a walking like smelling salt. He's just always on top of things. Like in that one video, can I use the plane? And then even the owner's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, he was gonna go pick up Fleury in Chicago, and he goes, "Can I borrow the jet?" And Leopold, the owner's like, "Fuck yeah!" And it was like when you ask your dad, like, "Hey, like, can I take the car?"
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
great content.
But the environment and everything, the atmosphere is just, it's way different because our GMs usually like, they kind of, it's like they're walking around glass and shit. Like they don't want to like get
boring
rid of,
too.
They don't want to like cut ties with these quote unquote Minnesota guys and shit. Bill Guerin's like, fuck that.
He just gets rid of Parisi and Suter right out of the gate.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, and I think that was, I don't know if those two guys were good for the culture. I think they were, so I don't know if that story's out there, but yeah, those two guys need to be removed in order for this ascension of the new core to solidify their spot.
Well, and I would say I remember specifically, this pissed me off to no end. I think I even wrote one of my introductory blogs to 10K was like, Parise is the most boring fucking man in the world. He wanted to eliminate the flyby after goals. And they did it for a short little while. They would score a goal, whether it was they just went up one, whether they were up 5 or whatever, which never happened. They would just skate to the center ice and just get ready for the next face-off. It's like, that's the most dull, boring shit I've ever heard.
You're not just there to play hockey. You're also putting on a show, man. Like, have a personality.
Imagine being a fan.
Scoring goals is hard. The vibe should be high.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's like, act like you've been there before. This isn't Bantam hockey. This is the pros. Let the guys have fun. But I remember specifically he said that, and I was so upset.
I would say we need to do the opposite. We need to get crazier with goals. Like when someone scores in soccer, you brought up soccer, it is fucking electric. The entire team will run to the corner of the field, and this guy will take his shirt off like he just won the championship. That's what we need to do.
Tarps off every single time.
So that'd be insane.
Yeah.
All right, so Chief, tell us where we can get. We'll wrap it up here. Like I said, we got to get back. Can we get a score update on Nottingham real quick?
They won 1-0, which is not quite enough for my purposes.
Okay.
But
wins a win.
The team's going to the Prem, boys. They're going to the Prem. Hop on now, Nottingham Forest.
We believe.
But yeah, you can go to store.barstoolsports.com. It should be on the first page. And if you're interested, we have all the descriptions of where those proceeds are going, right to Children's Minnesota. And yeah, it's the response from Minnesota people has been great. I mean, we don't have a huge presence in Minnesota. So it's gotten into their, in front of their faces kind of organically, kind of through you guys, a couple others. So, and yeah, his response has been great. Can't wait to actually get that check or wire. I don't know how we're doing it, but to present that to them is it's going to make me feel good. Should make you guys feel good too. And yeah, thanks again for having me. And thanks again for promoting the shirt.
Absolutely. I mean, it was an absolute no-brainer. The shirt's unbelievable. Anytime you can support Children's Minnesota, that's massive to us as well.
And also follow Chief and Barstool Chicago. If you like 10,000 Takes, you'll like. I feel like there's so many similarities with what we do, and we're Midwest guys. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And then
I feel like this is going to be a nice little marriage here, boys.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, we'll get a little heated as we start to get to football season here. No doubt.
I hope I hate you guys.
You will.
My goal is to hate you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and hey, like I said, the Cup Snake thing, I think that's a great idea. That could implement another level of hate that the fans can get involved with as well.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'll talk to our people because I'll see if we can get that organized for White Sox Day.
All right, love to hear it.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know when we can come on now, or whether it's the current office, newest office. We'd love to come and visit as well too. But we want to say thank you again one more time. This has been a blast. Keep your eyes peeled out for some of our tweets. We're going to keep firing that out across Instagram, all platforms as well too, for the new Minnesota Nice shirt, which is just fucking gorgeous. So thanks again, Chief. We appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, I guess that's it. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, thanks, boys.